yell at it and stuff. All right, number 2.
Yep. Had a little bit of issues getting audio.
We'll see how well it works when they get here. They'll let us know.
Oh.
I imagine sitting this close it'd be alright though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't scream into my microphone at my house and it picks me up fine.
Yeah, I want to say I talk pretty quiet when I'm gaming, and my voice is always pretty loud over the game.
Take my hoodie off.
Yeah, I like to keep it pretty toasty in here. I'm tropical.
Has a sandwich just cooking out in the open over there.
Some eggs.
Eggs. Oh, fuck.
Egg sandwich.
Yeah. With
Fried
avocado.
eggs. I like avocado.
I fucking don't. It's mushy.
You of all people I would think would like it.
Yeah. No. It's like eating a fucking old banana. Except it also doesn't taste good.
Like it lost its
Yeah, like it's just sat there and just browned.
or greened.
Yeah. I liked it on the Hot Ones with fucking Gordon Ramsay when they asked him about like the avocado like lattes, and he's like, "That's fucking stupid." I'm like, yeah.
See, I like avocados, but that sounded weird.
Yeah.
You know, I like my avocados normal, I guess.
I guess I just probably don't want my latte in anything except like a fucking cup. Like, I can't think of one alternative that would be
wasn't
better.
there like chunks of fucking avocado like garnishing the fucking...
That just sounds...
Wasn't there? Or am I tripping? I don't remember. How long ago was it we watched that?
That was a couple weeks ago. It's been like almost 2 weeks since we even hung out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, about a couple weeks ago. And I have the memory of a goldfish. No, I only remember a couple days ago.
It all kind of runs together once you're an adult.
I swear time goes faster than like when I was a kid.
Yeah, it just... So the story I was going to tell you, I hurt my back, you know that.
I do.
And my workman's comp claim, they sent me the sheet, and it says, hey, take this when you go to visit your doctor, and they'll fill one prescription of whatever's on this list. And it had all the fun shit. It had oxys, hydrocodones, all that shit. They prescribed me ibuprofen. That is $4. So I'm like, motherfucker, I have ibuprofen at home. Like, I wouldn't be here if that worked.
See, my dad, the same thing with him. Like, he just had that surgery, had it removed from his nose, and like, he was in a lot of pain when he got back. All the shit from the surgery wore off by the time he got here into town, and he was in a lot of pain. And he was asking me, he's like, I might have to have you go to the dispensary for me so I can sleep tonight.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what they said for him on his directions was take ibuprofen.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, they didn't give you like oxys or some
They didn't
shit,
give you
like
anything.
Like they just removed cancer from your fucking face, like a whole hole, and then used another part of your fucking forehead to patch that hole because it was so huge.
And they're like, nah, you're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Walk it off,
bitch.
Cowboy up, So yeah, I waited to tell you that story in person because I thought you of all people would be like, yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
See, I never looked at that shit for me because I had Yellow Hawk, so any of my prescriptions were going to go through there, and that's they're covering that.
I think their big thing. I'm really skinny, so I go in there and they're like, I think they're initially just like, this guy's here for drugs, right off the bat. Like, because I come in, I'm like, I'm in pain, my back hurts. They're like, oh bullshit, here's ibuprofen.
I once had the hospital treat me like shit. I think because they thought I was there to score drugs.
Yeah.
I think they thought I was trying to get fucking painkillers. It was when the abdominal pain. It's around when I first got that. And that was, and it wasn't going away, and so I tried to go to the hospital. Yellow Hawk was closed. It was after 5. And yeah, they treated me like shit.
I feel like our local hospital doesn't do anything. I've never been there and actually had them like solve what my issue is. You know, like I walk in and I'm like, hey, my back hurts. They're like, well, we can do an X-ray, and if that comes back negative, that's it. If it's not a bone, that's all that's possible.
I just realized it's basically-
Oh,
Yeah. The one time I can recall that they ever fucking helped me was my appendix when I had that taken out.
yeah.
And yeah, I went for like a year of, I guess the thing fucker was infected. Because they said it was just a ball of scars when I showed up there. And yeah.
And had you like gone before, and they're just like, oh, we don't know what it is. No.
No, I didn't know what it was. I just kind of dealt with it. And then one night, like, I thought I was fucking dying. It hurt so fucking bad. And so I went in, yeah. They're like, you're not leaving tonight. I was like, what? Fuck.
Nope. I had never spent overnight in a hospital until recently, you know, when my daughter was born.
Really?
Yeah, and that sucks. Like the whole time they're just even
Yeah, it's shitty when you're a guest. You're like, you're not like the one that's fucked up there, like, because you don't get a bed really. You
Yeah,
get,
I had a chair.
see,
It kind of folded out, but they didn't tell me that at first, so I was like sleeping on it all fucking weird, and they're like, no, that kind of makes into a bed. I was like,
see, they
oh.
had like the fold out dad bed thing for me, and it was like, this is shit. Like you have like this whole nice room and everything, and you couldn't like spend a little extra for the dads that got to sleep here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I got a bad back.
The first room we were in, like where they're in labor, that had kind of like a dad bed. And I was like, well, that's kind of pointless, because while I'm in this room, I'm not going to be getting any sleep whatsoever, because the baby's being born. And they're like, no, if you want to crash, there's a bed. But the minute it's a room where I can sleep, they're like, no, fuck you, you're on your own.
Well, and, like, it takes all night, you know? And then it's like early in the morning, and like fucking the nurse that's been like demoted to fucking janitor basically goes around and takes all the garbage, you know, because it's like in the wall, so that they don't have to come into the room at all. But that fucking hatch that's like fucking sitting in, like, fucking slams loud as fuck. So like you're like, finally, it's like 6, 7 in the morning, you're about to fall asleep finally, and then that thing fucking BAM. Like, fuck you, man.
No, I hated it too. Even my girlfriend, it was like, they know there's a time, like you're supposed to wake your baby up every 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
But they schedule everything opposite of that. It's like they could come in and weigh the baby during a time when they know the baby's going to be awake, but they're like, oh, you just got her to sleep? It's been 30 minutes, time to wake her up. And, you know. the whole
Damn
thing.
it. No, I remember when they first took Asher from us, and fucking we finally had like our first break, you know, ever. It was like, you know, we had a long night. Shit, and they're like, yeah, we'll take him off your hands for a while. And it was just like, but wait, he's never been away from us.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to sleep, but you're so exhausted you fucking pass out.
Yeah, at that point you're like just passing out. Fucking anytime you close your eyes.
You couldn't
for a
stay
second,
awake if you
know.
fucking wanted to. Like,
If it's like if there was silence for a second, you're like,
yeah.
oh man.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a weird conversation to start with, because it's like, how do you segue out of that into a different subject?
Death. You start talking about death.
Yeah, I guess that'd be the natural, because we're talking about birth, so then you talk about death.
There hasn't really been any, like...
I heard that, like, another girl died last night, like, quit breathing.
Here in town?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's like 3, right? 'Cause
That's
you have-
2 that I've heard of.
Yeah, at least 2.
No.
And, like, both recently, so... It's clearly a conspiracy.
Well, what the
Chemtrails,
fuck? Yeah, chemtrail.
Why would they... Why would
Well,
they...
what's going on that's making people fucking just quit breathing? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time.
Ain't nobody got time to quit breathing.
Yeah, and like we just said, our hospital sucks. So if you come in, you're like, oh, they're not breathing. They're like, well, we don't know what's going on. Go ahead and release them. Here's some ibuprofen.
Well, a lot of people don't know I have fucking asthma. And the only reason you know, like I fucking cough a lot when I smoke and shit. But the only reason I don't have like attacks or anything is because I have something like, you know, medication I take in the morning and at night. It keeps
That
me
kinda-
fucking good. You know, keeps me breathing. Because I.
What's weird is that was right by the skeleton. The literal human skeleton.
I'm telling you, man, like weird shit's been happening lately around here. Like shit moving on its own.
And like I can't tell what moved, but it was definitely right by. What was his name?
Jack.
Jack. It was by Jack Skellington. It's hard not to say Jack Skellington. Like,
What was I talking? Oh, I got on medication because when I was like 18 or so, I finally had like another like I've only had like 2 ever like serious attacks in my life, and yeah, I did have an attack where I could barely move, and because I couldn't breathe that much. Like any fucking action just made it that much worse. But I was like, when I went to the car, my mom was taking me to the hospital. Like I was just like slow motion.
because you didn't want to. Like,
Yeah, I didn't want.
overexert
Yeah, because it was just like I'm breathing through a fucking straw, basically. Lips turning purple and shit. Like
There's a guy we worked with who told me one time that his lung had actually just like collapsed, and he was super young. I was like, how the fuck does that happen? I've been smoking for like 8 years, and mine I like
Fucking-
breathe fine.
I know a guy that like that happened to a couple times. Rob, fucking that happened to him a couple times. Like I think at least once. I know if I remember, he said one time. He said it fucking hurts like a bitch.
That'd be fucking terrifying too. Your lung just collapses.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like
How do you handle being told that by a doctor? It's
Like-
like, oh, this vital part of your body just quit working.
yeah, and then you just like you have like half the breathing. You're just
Yeah.
like.
Because people can survive with one lung.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine, what do they do in that situation? Like, is it like fucking stick something in there and try and fill it with air to get it working again?
I can't remember what Rob told me. Like, I think it is something like that. Like, they basically inflate it back up
Yeah,
or something, I
'Cause
think.
it seems like they would have to. Because I don't know.
He told me, but I can't remember. It just sounded agonizing. I remember he was telling me the story, and I was just like, the whole time. Like, I could feel it. You know, you have, like, sympathy pain.
yeah,
Kind of
you're
like,
like,
you're just like, my lung.
You're almost kind of like quit talking.
Yeah, dude,
Uncomfortable.
stop. You're killing me.
I get, there are sounds that people don't like, and one of them is nails on a chalkboard, of course.
My mom's like that. She can't stand, like, scratching, like, anything.
What gets
really.
me is, my girlfriend files her nails, and I'm like, fucking stop, please. She actually has gotten to the point she won't do it around me, but she always wants to file mine. I'm like, I can't imagine. It seems like it would hurt, like, from the sound. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing to yourself?
Yeah, you ever been at the dentist and they grind your teeth or anything? That, like...
I have no experience with it.
That, like, yeah, so any grinding, I don't like fucking grinding. I've had my
Yeah.
nails grind on fucking, like, metal and machines and shit that's made me cringe and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just any kind of grinding in a certain way makes me fucking... I don't know, there's something about it.
I tell you, because my daughter is so young.
Unless it's with a woman.
And now that weird, she has nails now, and she likes to grab at her face and stuff, and we got to prevent that. It's like fucking terrifying for me to try to like.
Asher would just
I make my
fucking-
girlfriend do it because I'm like afraid I'm gonna cut it too short and like
Oh, yeah.
freak her out.
I
you know?
never cut Asher's nails. Shiloh always took care of that, but, like, Asher would cut himself
Oh yeah,
so
it just
bad.
fucking-
Like,
if she starts reaching for her eye, I'm like,
yeah, it's
Jesus
like, no!
Christ.
Those are
You
not
need-
grapes.
You really need those. At least one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fuck, man. No, we had to put the weird gloves on him
yeah,
and shit.
we have some of these
You
onesies
just feel like
that it will like fold over their hands. I'm like, that's convenient. That was a good invention. I had an idea for an invention the other day because I was laying in bed and she's laying in the bassinet, and I'm like, I can't fucking see her, and if I'm like actually comfortable, and I had to keep propping up, and I have this idea. I'm like, what if we had a mirror on the bassinet? And I'm
There
like,
you
this is
go.
a great fucking idea. So I look it up, and somebody already made a motorized one that you can adjust. And that's one of those times you're like, I was just a day late and $1 short.
right? Yeah, you could be a millionaire off
And
that
that-
shit.
and-
And you took too long.
Yeah, and his is a way better version. Thinking, I'm gonna take like a
Well,
The prototype would
because he probably had a prototype,
Yeah.
you know, and then
you get a bunch
eventually,
of funding.
yeah, got
Oh.
funding.
Exciting news for me, randomly, small business ideas, I guess. Not ideas. You know how Telltale closed down, and I was super bummed out because I was like a big fan. I guess a few of their core programmers are getting together to start their own indie studio doing the same type of game. I read that and I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Because that's like my favorite game studio.
Right. Well, I was gonna say that kind of genre of game has a following now.
Yeah,
right?
and
So-
they're the main source. I mean, you get the big AAA budget ones like Until Dawn, like you're
yeah,
playing.
yeah. Until Dawn. Yeah, I feel like I'm playing just a.
Another one that you would like, I think you would like a lot, is Detroit Become Human, because it's about like more like cyborgs and like what is humanity.
That I want to play actually. Until Dawn, I'm not gonna lie, is actually pretty fucking cheesy.
Yeah. Oh well, it's gonna be the same with.
Like,
it's
me, it's entertaining because it's so bad.
It's gonna be
kind
the
of thing.
same with Detroit Become Human. All of the kind of choice-based games have to force their moments a little bit, because
Right.
you can't make a natural flowing narrative if you give a lot of choice.
Right.
That is seemingly the issue I think of. When you have like a linear game, you can have like a more streamlined story, so it's like everything has a natural beat.
Yeah.
But with narrative, it's like if you suddenly decide, like, actually my guy's fucking evil, the story can't really adjust for that if you're 2 hours in and you've been playing as a good guy.
Oh man, I'm getting pretty evil on Until Dawn.
I'm like I said, I'm an episode behind, so I'm excited to like catch up because I've played it and I've also watched other people play it. So I'm actually like seeing this for my 5th time, but it's entertaining because I know you and you're like,
Well,
you poke fun at like the. It is cheesy.
Yeah, but I like the ridiculousness. I point out a lot, and but the last 2 episodes though, I've just been getting evil.
Yeah.
Just getting bad.
Like worst options you can pick. Like well, you started out like stirring up shit in the cabin.
Yeah,
like episode 1.
But now when like people's lives are on the line now, like
actively working against them.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's like, don't move the controller, Jeremy. Like, what?
Well, like the one I was telling you, like, happened on accident, like, because I had the joint in my hand. You know, like, I didn't feel bad, though. I was like, oh, well.
Well, it's, you know.
It's like, doesn't really matter to me.
I bought Persona 5, which, I read a bunch of reviews. It's supposed to be super awesome. But I just started it, and I'm a couple hours in. It's definitely Japanese. Like, I should have guessed from the art style. And, you know, the fact that it was made in Japan, but wow.
It seems like there's a whole, like, niche of fucking weird, like, story games like that, like, in Japanese.
Yeah.
That are fucking weird, though. Like, bizarre as fuck.
Yeah, and because of the cultural differences, but it definitely gives you a different experience than you can get in America, because everything is so made to sell as many copies as it can.
Right. Well, like the ones I was watching Neo play were just like bizarre. Like there was the one that the graphics were weird because it was like all the 3D computer animated stuff, but then they're on their face. It was like they superimposed real footage of somebody's face, so it made for some really strange, fucking awkward, like cinematic scenes,
like the old games where they would actually have like live action people doing cutscenes,
but just the face.
Everything else was animated.
Yeah,
that is weird.
It was fucking weird. And then there was another one I remember watching him play. The one part I remember was just like she goes something about like, oh, and now you can see the real me or something. And she goes to open her shirt, and you're like, oh fuck, she's gonna show titties. But then she opens it slowly, and there's this huge face on her torso, like.
Oh, have you watched...
It was, I don't know, it was weird.
Have you watched any anime?
Yeah, I used to when I was in high school, but...
I've only watched...
I can't now anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just can't take it seriously anymore.
I've only seen a couple series, but it's always something weird like that. Like Full Metal Alchemist, I watched,
right.
And one of them is just like a literal mouse. Like his stomach opens up and like he'll just fucking eat everything. Gluttony.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that character a lot in the commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends watched it too.
Of course, the big anime was Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z,
Everybody's watched that. I've watched it. You've watched it.
Everybody.
My grandma watched it.
Everybody's favorite character is
Yamcha.
Always. He's the best. Most powerful, also. That's a fact.
I mean, he was the one that defeated Frieza, Cell.
Yeah. It's all a Mandela
Broly.
effect that you guys think it was Goku.
Yeah.
I remember
If you were
the
actually
yeah.
a kid in the 90s and you actually saw it on live television, Yamcha actually,
Yeah.
like a lot of times, like it looked like Goku was gonna win, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, heart disease," and Yamcha stepped in.
I love that because it actually is like. I really loved like the abridged is so much better to me than the original series now, just because of,
Where are they at? Like, I'm waiting for their
They're
next
actually-
episode.
they released like one recently. It was like the Trunks going back to the future storyline.
But that was like over a month ago. Wasn't it?
Yeah. But they usually have kind of a long turnaround time on their episodes. But
Yeah, I'm just.
that always
I'm saying
confuses
it
me
should be soon.
because it's like, never mind. I'm not going to get into it because anybody watching will just like destroy me for my lack of Dragon Ball knowledge about how Trunks' fucking timeline works.
Fuck, I don't even like. I don't. You know, back in the day, I was a pretty big, Dragon Ball expert. Nowadays, I don't know shit anymore.
Oh, and just to clarify for that Persona game, I mean, I really like it. Super fucking like, it's stylish how it goes between menus and cutscenes and battles and stuff, like it's animation style. I'm just saying, it's very much, Japanese. When I play it in front of my girlfriend, she's definitely like, I'm dating this guy,
It's one of those kind of games.
Yeah, and I was debating Kingdom Hearts 3, so I think I actually picked the lesser of two evils as far as that goes. She's gonna see me running around with Winnie the Pooh, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I never understood that shit myself.
Can you delete the, like,
Yeah.
or just leave them up for posterity?
I was like, our live one isn't showing up. There it is, though.
You can check the audio.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, probably for like how long? 23 minutes.
that's not a bad timeline.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like, I feel like it sounds
Yeah, that
decent.
sounds pretty good, actually.
After I broke his microphone, and now he can't be in a party because I played with his PlayStation.
I don't know. Like, I haven't streamed with like Playroom in a long time, so who knows? It could have just shit out
Oh,
a year.
does
It
that
was
mean
me.
we have a viewer?
It was
Oh.
probably me.
Hi, Germy.
Well, you're here too, so that's you as well. So this is like a streamception,
Yeah.
and now see
It is interesting to like see yourself up there on the screen. I haven't streamed before. We wanted to do another podcast for a while.
another one.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Duh. How could I forget episode 1, dude?
I mean,
so much crazy shit happened. Dude.
Legendary. For those of the two people who were able to see it, it was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know that part of human anatomy could do that.
Oh. Again, now we have to find a way to segue anatomy into a subject, clearly, right?
I mean, we don't have to. Did you hear? Okay, let's get on aliens, man. Did you hear about the weird stuff going on in LA lately?
No.
Like, there was this night there was some weird sounds or some shit. I think what people were saying, and then like all of a sudden there's just black helicopters swarming, like just circling LA for I can't remember how many hours they said for a long time. And they just took off.
Was it LA that
LA, and then I think somewhere else something similar happened.
like a long time wasn't there?
No, like just the other day this happened.
Well, previously in the past was I can't remember where it was. But there was, like, I've read a story about where there was like a battle essentially.
Oh,
Was that
Battle of
it LA?
LA, Battle over LA or something
Yeah.
like that.
I
Back
just-
in like the 50s, right?
Yeah.
And they had like spotlights.
Yeah, and then I can't remember what.
You know what's funny? You bring that up. Those remote viewer guys I watched, they just remote viewed that recently. That was their last episode.
What
They
they
were-
say?
Well, they said some craft showed up Well, it's funny because it sounds like we shot the piss out of ourselves. Yeah, they said that, like, this craft showed up, and they said basically the beings in there, like, typical story. There were some aliens in there, and they just said they said they couldn't care less. Like, fucking, they didn't care what the fuck we were doing. Didn't care that they were causing chaos, basically just by showing up there. But basically, the boats that were in the ocean off the fucking coast there were shooting at the thing, and we're hitting
on land,
and hitting our own military on land,
and the land was shooting back and hitting the boats.
Well, land the boats were fine. It sounded like boats were unscathed. They were just shooting, and so they're missing, and they're hitting our own. But it sounds like we shot the piss out of our own people. Like, it sounded like it was just chaos, and people thought, like, that a lot of people, I guess, thought it was the Japanese.
Well, you have to think, if there was a craft there, our weapons, especially in 1950, aren't going to do a thing to it. Like, our strongest weapons, if they got to Earth from anywhere, our strongest weapons.
Well, eyewitness accounts say the rounds were just hitting it, and nothing was happening. Just boom, boom,
just
fucking just bouncing right off the fucking.
I saw this documentary, I guess, one time, if you would call it that. I think it was on the History Network, and it was like, what if aliens came? And it goes through these scenarios where it's like, oh, first we would try to fight them like this, and like drop a nuke on them. And it goes into saying that because of how it would have to travel through space, like the littlest debris or anything would destroy it, so it would be more prepared to withstand like an atomic strike. But the dumb fucking thing about this documentary was, at the end, it's like, humans would win with wait, with balloons, and the idea was that we would so outlow technology them that we would just float up into their ship with balloons. And I think it was explosives, or it could have been dudes, but I'm like, regardless, if they got to Earth, we're not going to fucking beat them with... I watched this whole thing, and I was expecting it to end with humanity loses, because of course they do.
Yeah.
If there's an all-out invasion, there's no way we win.
What the fuck? Balloons?
Yeah, and, oh god, it was so long ago. I can't remember if it was, like, explosives that they were floating up into it, which they launched a nuke at it in the beginning and said that wouldn't work. So I think it was dudes that were going to infiltrate the ships and bring them down.
There you go, folks at home. If the aliens have a weakness, right in the balloon hole.
Well, it's like every single movie that portrays aliens has to have a weakness.
They're afraid of water.
Yeah, exactly. They can't give them good weaknesses.
I like your point on that. So, they're advanced aliens with,
the capability of scoping.
Yeah, why would they go to a planet that's fucking full of water?
Water falls from the sky.
That's like if we were like, hey, let's go colonize a planet of lava.
Yeah. What do you mean it falls from the sky? And
right, yeah. Let's go to the dollar store, get the cheap party cups. Fuck it.
So, yeah. And then, what was it? Oh God. Why can't... It's a classic one. War of the Worlds. Like germs. Again, they can't scope us out enough to know that there are germs on Earth. And not even our strongest germ. Just like the average cold.
They have advanced weapons like tripods and shit, but they don't fucking know, like, to fucking pack vaccines before they head here.
Or a suit or something. Yeah. Just not expose themselves.
Yeah, have like a fucking suit. Movies like
even
that.
Superheroes have that.
It's
where
movies like that.
It's hard to give them like natural organic weaknesses, especially in games. Like, that's why they would have such trouble making a Superman game, because every motherfucker's gonna have this super rare mineral called kryptonite. Otherwise, you just destroy them immediately.
Yeah, you're invincible no matter what. So
yeah, it's like they shoot you, it just bounces off. Your health bar never goes down, even on hard.
No, I've always. What's that one game where Superman's the bad guy?
Oh,
Infamous?
Injustice,
yeah. Infamous.
Have you played Infamous? That's a fun fucking game.
No, I have Injustice, though, because it was free 1 month.
Yeah.
So I added it to my library. I don't think I ever played it, though.
And it's like Superman went crazy because the Joker tricked him into killing Lois. Spoilers.
It's an old game, man.
I don't even know when in the storyline that happens. It's been so long.
It's an old game. I'm sure everybody fucking knows. It's a fighting game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like made by the same people that made Mortal Kombat, right?
I'm not sure.
Mortal Kombat X. I think I want to say that's.
I was happy with
Maybe
it.
I'm pulling shit out of my ass. I don't know.
I was happy with the new Mortal Kombat. I've never been able to get as into Injustice, even though I like superheroes and stuff. It just
Just kind of.
when I think of fighting games, I think of like Soul Calibur, like Smash Bros, and like Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Everything else, I'm like, this is just a knockoff. Even if it's like more storied.
No, they got a new Mortal Kombat coming out.
Did you hear that they're gonna have like a main Pokemon entry on the Switch? Like not like Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee or whatever.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna have like an actual like Pokemon, whatever color game.
Huh.
Also, we've talked about this
Pokemon
before
Piss.
too, because you're a big Pokemon fan, and you know I've dabbled in Pokemans. I've dabbled. We found out that you couldn't evolve Eevee in Let's Go Eevee, and so it's just stuck as Eevee.
Why?
Yeah, we were both like, because that's the fun
Well, I
part of
remember
having
Alec
Eevee.
was trying to tell me. Somebody came in and left. He was trying to tell me that he didn't know, but he was thinking so because he was so far into the game, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking my Eevee's just stuck as Eevee,"
Well,
and it was never.
yeah, I've
confirmed
never
yet.
looked it up past what he said actually, but if that's true, that's dumb. It's like, oh, the fun part about Eevee is all these evolutions she can have, but you just get
It's
Eevee.
like Eevee's cool as Eevee if you're a girl, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, oh, I have a cute Pokemon. I never played it for the cute Pokemon though.
Be
I
like,
always played it for the creepy motherfuckers.
they give you a Magikarp that never evolves.
Oh God.
Let's go.
You ever
Magikarp.
seen that? What's his name? There's a YouTuber, and he basically does that. He'll get like a weird Pokemon like Magikarp or Caterpie, and he'll sweep an entire team like online, and like an actual player online, like
Yeah.
somebody that has cheap or even cheated Pokemon, so
Yeah.
like they should win. And he has like he'll have like the weirdest setup. Like I don't
just the random Pokemons that nobody wants.
Well, like, I don't understand Z moves and stuff like that. And apparently, like, with Caterpie and Magikarp, some of these weaker Pokemon, they've snuck in some weird setups that you can
Actually
pretty
win
much,
with
like,
them.
stomp. Like,
Oh.
fucking nuts. Oh, and then they're using combinations of other, like, I think it'll be like if another Pokemon is out first and does some move that does some kind of status thing. And it'll set him up for when he brings in Magikarp or something, he'll stomp and, like, usually it's set up to where he gets attacked and by the other person, and they'll knock him down to where he's just a sliver. But
Yeah.
then he attacks, and like it brings him to full health every time. So they can't, no
Right,
matter
they
what they
can't
do,
kill
they
him.
can't kill him. And he'll keep stomping out each of their fucking Pokemon.
That kind of makes you just want like an actual Pokemon game, like one where it's
No,
like,
I watch that shit, and I'm like, man, Pokemon's come a long way since when I played it
Yeah.
on Game Boy. So like it kind of makes me want to start playing it.
well, and you were talking about like they changed the rules a little bit, like added special.
Yeah, like I said, Z moves and
Yeah.
stuff like I don't know what that is. Like, and you can do stuff to like the room
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's weird.
It's like that for I told you I growing up I was into Yu-Gi-Oh, so I have like Yu-Gi-Oh games, and they've added like XYZ moves. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck this works, so
Right,
it's like
yeah.
not a part of how I play the game.
Yeah,
And so when you go up against like either a CPU or a player who's using it, you just get fucking destroyed because
because they know what the fuck they're
Yeah.
doing, and you're just like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm afraid to play. I have tons and tons of these fucking codes for the Pokemon cards online.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid to play it just because I don't know what it's like anymore. I'm used to, back when
Old school.
Back
Yeah.
when I was 12, and it was a lot more simple. It's just weird. Like, yeah, I'm afraid to touch it because of that, because I know I'll get stomped.
Yeah, even I can't think of the Yu-Gi-Oh game I have, but it has like a normal mode, and it has a ton of people to face. And I made my whole way through normal mode, and now I'm on expert mode, and they all use that shit, and I can't make it past like the second dude. He kicks my ass in like 4 turns every time.
Well, it was like right after Asher was born, I got an emulator on my phone and played Pokemon Silver. Because that was the last one I played when
Yeah.
I was a kid before I phased out.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you ever played the Gold and Silver games, but the second gym you get to is a normal type, and you're like, oh, normal type, fucking, I can stomp that, and whatever. But you go in there and like the gym leader has all these Pokemon. You get through them easy until you get to this fucking Miltank, the goddamn fat fucking cow.
Yeah.
And it's got, what's the name of the move? Rollout, I want to say, or something like that. And that move just stomps the shit out of you every time for some reason. Like, it just, the damage is insane.
See, the last time I played a Pokemon game, I was doing IT work, and so a lot of my job was just sitting there, and then it can fuck if I played Game Boy. And I know in every RPG you want to rotate your characters if you don't have experience share or whatever, that way they all get experience.
Yeah.
I did not do that at all. So I had like a fucking great Charizard when I reached the Elite Four, and man, they would all just stomp me because once they got through my Charizard, all my backups were
just
trash.
weak.
They're just trash.
Yeah, when you go to Elite Four, you have to have a full set.
I went and tried to get, what is it, Zapdos?
If you can trade someone and get Alakazam, you're fucking set.
Yeah, I don't think I had any Psychic Pokemon. I think I had a Ghost Pokemon.
I think I usually went in there with, like, I had, like, a Haunter that was pretty beefed up. Because I always, you know, I love the Ghost types so much, so I always had one with me. And it was usually pretty hard to get Gengar, but, fucking, you know, my friend played. Like, I had Red, he had Blue. So it was real nice. We kind of, you know, helped each other out.
Yeah. That card game that came out of The Witcher, called Gwent. I would play that on PlayStation. And again, just between the game where it was created to like the actual card game that stood alone, they changed a bunch of shit. And so like on the game I felt great because of course it's a one-player game, so I'm just beating the computer. But then I step online in that game and I'm just getting my ass beat by every single person. I'm like, this game isn't fun anymore. So I quit playing it.
The Pokemon card game on the Game Boy,
yeah,
fucking is like that. Like, it kind of, like, you get through it pretty easy, and then you get to, like, there's the very last part of the game you get to, and it's just all of a sudden it's like fucking steps up the difficulty. Like, yeah, it's just like, fuck you. I was playing that too around the same time I was playing Silver a couple years ago, and yeah, that same thing happened to me. I got stuck and I was like, dude, this is some bullshit. I think I even streamed some of it where I was trying to get a rare card, so I was fighting certain areas to get these packs.
Like, yeah,
because you get certain packs in certain gyms.
Just grinding to get the.
Yeah, and
see, I was doing a playthrough of Final Fantasy X, like the international version that has all the extra bosses and shit. And I just got bored of grinding, especially when there's other games out. I'm like, I don't want to spend like fucking 30, 40 hours just grinding my level to be able to fight these bosses who it's the end game anyway. What are they going to give me? Like, the additional bosses.
Right. You gotta get your money.
And after I grind for like even 5 hours, I'm like way overpowered to even beat the final boss. I'm like, I guess I won. It's like doing the collectibles in games like Assassin's Creed, where it's like, go collect these 200 feathers. I'm like, no, I don't care enough about trophies to like go out of my way to do something like that.
Resident Evil 2. I haven't been addicted to a game like, you know, this bad in a long time. Like, you can go back and like literally some of my streams are like, there's like one that's almost 6 hours. And like I'll just grind on the game, like to where I know the game so well now. Like I did a speed run last night.
Yeah, you were saying.
I beat the game in 2 hours 34 minutes or something like that.
What's the record right now?
Less than an hour, like 55 minutes or something like that.
Want to try one of these?
Yeah, I'm totally down. Pope shit in the woods. I want to see if
the Pope shits in the woods.
That and.
Are you gonna watch Detective
Comments
Pikachu?
aren't working.
Oh, they're like at all?
Yeah, that's probably why people are jumping in and backing out.
Either that or we're just super not entertaining. Damn, I thought it was going okay.
My phone's about to die too. That's fucking bad timing. Just hope it doesn't overheat and shit. You know, that cord gets fucking hot.
I'll test it. I put my eyeball right on it. How do you make comments work?
See, June to Ally said, "Yo, is this alive?
Oh,
is this live?"
Well, I think he's out now, but yes.
Yeah, he left.
Yes, it's live.
It is live.
So now, does this make a sound or something?
Maybe that's why he left. He's like, oh no, it's not live.
Yeah,
My
they're not
comment didn't show up.
They're not reacting at all.
It did that fucking first time.
Yeah, but the audio didn't work.
If only we would have realized to just plug in the mic.
Yeah.
That would have been
Because
perfect.
yeah. We spent like, what, probably 30 minutes just trying to get...
Fuck, yeah. That was ridiculous.
Well...
This is tasty.
Yeah, that one has, what is it, 7% terps? Which, it's called Bubble Bomb.
Bubble bomb.
Yeah. Which makes me think of SpongeBob SquarePants for some reason.
Bubbles and shit.
And I'm pretty sure there's at least a bomb made of bubbles or something in one episode.
A bong?
Yeah.
A bong.
Bomb.
Bong, okay.
It's like Harold and Kumar on the airplane. No, bong!
It's got a bong.
My favorite part of that is when the old lady looks at him and he's like,
Yeah, he's
fucking bust up laughing. That's probably my favorite part of like the whole.
Here, I'll let it charge, and then I'll open it when somebody jumps in.
All right.
Keep going. Sorry.
Forgot what we were talking about.
Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. That move, the second one especially, the detective, all of his fucking stereotypes that he's busting out like he's
Pours out the grape
yeah,
soda.
and they're like, are you serious? He's like fucking throwing the pennies on the table for the Jewish guys.
Right.
You haven't seen the third one, right?
No, the third one I need to see because they're all fucking really good,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
Because like
I
I've seen the
love them all.
second one, and the second one was just as good as the first one. In fact, it was probably a little better.
See, I think I think of it being like there's kind of stages in movies in general, but like before Harold and Kumar, you had like Cheech and Chong, and you've had like your stoners who kind of fill that movie role. And so, like, as time moved on, it's kind of moved on from, like, Harold and Kumar, again, to, like, these younger, or more relevant stars. Like, Seth Rogen has a lot of jokes about marijuana and stuff. A more obvious example of, like, trends in movies would be, like, Jack Black. And before Jack Black, you had Chris Farley playing the big, lovable chubby guy, and before Chris Farley you had like John Candy playing the big chubby lovable guy.
It's like little it's almost like you need kind of that kind of character in that spot in comedy.
Well, it's like, and you see that over time, like so many movies we see these days are just rehashes of old movies hitting the same beats, and that's part of what I think makes Until Dawn so cheesy. It's because it's hitting the same story beats that so many other horror.
It reminds me of like a '90s
yeah.
cheesy horror movie, like
here's
something
these
teenagers
teens
would watch.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it would have been cooler if they, in a way, because they went for like super realistic graphics. It almost would have been cooler if they went for like trying to give it a '90s feel, like the visuals of it, like give it that,
Like
make it seem like it's off of VHS tape or something.
what's the name of the game that actually does that? Hold on, I'm opening.
Is it Friday
I'm
the
opening
13th?
chat.
I think Friday the 13th fucking has kind of a little filter on it that kind of does that.
Guess I can turn the volume down, huh? God damn it.
There's a tiny delay. Smoking weed on.
How's it going, man? We're just chilling, talking about weird shit.
Yeah, whatever comes out. Or are the new ones just gonna pop up at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how technology works. Like at all. Because my phone is like
Well, I figured this out recently with when I started streaming and comments, weren't working.
Yeah, I saw that.
Going good. That's good to hear. Where are you from? You got snow like us?
That's the Resident Evil 2 game.
Oh, fuck. Have you looked on my channel and seen the last videos I did? I did a speed run last night and unlocked the Samurai Edge. From England. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So he's on the other side of the world. We're on the northwest parts of the United States. And we're fucking snowed in like a bitch.
Seriously, though. And it was supposed to, like, what? The forecast kept saying it was supposed to snow, like, again all night.
Isn't it supposed to snow like crazy this weekend?
Yeah, like, I guess it was supposed to start last night, but...
Dude, I already saw, like, a wreck, like, car in front of me, just, like...
I ordered pizza from Domino's, and the guy was fucking spinning out, pulling
No
down my
shit.
street.
Yeah, it was, like, I was sliding coming out of here and shit, like, Riverside was just slippery as fuck.
Oh, man, I felt bad, because also, I saw him spinning out, and I, like, did not have much money for a tip. I was like...
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
But no, he doesn't have snow, lucky bastard. Do you guys do PC gaming? I don't do any PC gaming.
Yeah, me either.
I'm all on the PS4, man. I used to play Pokemon Go, so that's on the phone. But that was the only
close.
that was the only other system I was playing on back then.
Okay.
So now it's just strictly PS4. It's close. Yeah, this guy's been showing up in my Resident Evil streams.
See, I haven't watched much of your Resident Evil ones.
Don't watch the first two.
Oh, yeah? Skip 'em.
It's so cringy. Like, I was so bad at the game back then. I'm still pretty bad now, but, like, it's a lot better now. Like, a lot better. I know.
Well, it's like I had Breath of the Wild for the Switch, you know? And I had played it, like, a bunch back when I first got it, and then I took a couple months off. And I started playing it again the other night. But because it had been so long, I didn't want to restart. I was just getting my ass beat by everything because I didn't know the fucking controls.
I hate that when you go back to, like,
Yeah.
an old game. Like I haven't played Castlevania in so long. I'm like, there's times I'll be like, I want to play that game. I'll sit there bored. Maybe I'll stream it now. Fuck, I don't remember all the buttons. Like,
That's what's nice about turn-based games.
right.
It's like, oh, attack. I know what that means. Every game.
Can't wait for The Last of Us 2 to come. When does that come out?
I don't know. Isn't, what's her name? Elle? Is it Elle? Ellie?
Ellie.
Yeah. Isn't she the main character in this one?
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything on it, but
Yeah, I mean,
everything I've heard.
it's actually probably not a game I'll pick up immediately.
Yeah, like, I played the first one and it, like, after a while got pretty repetitive.
Yeah.
It's all about stealth and shit, yeah, but sometimes you gotta switch it up a little bit. So I'll probably, like you, I'll get it, yeah, but
See,
not
and
right
for me
away,
at the
like
time,
Resident Evil 2.
I had, like, just played the Walking Dead game by Telltale, which, it had, like, Clementine and Lee and their whole story. So the whole time I was kind of comparing Joel and Ellie to Clementine and Lee. And I'm like, dude, these two are, like, not near as interesting, and I, like, don't care as much about Ellie and stuff as I did about Clementine.
I saw on TMZ that Ellie and Clementine are dating.
They got the scoop, huh? That's
Yeah.
that's how Clementine's story finishes up. That'd be a crazy tie-in. It'll never happen.
Joel should be in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Joel's
I didn't play that shit.
the guy in Last of Us.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the Walking Dead one.
Oh.
I thought that's what he was referencing.
Yeah, I think he'd do alright in Resident Evil. He, like, handled all the enemies in The Last of Us fine.
Yeah, there's some pretty gnarly
He's crafty.
ones.
You can make a bunch of shit with him.
Yeah, I think he'd do just fine.
Yeah, and fit in.
Like, considering he uses a lot more melee weapons, he'd probably save a lot more ammo. Because if you played the new Resident Evil, fucking ammo, like, you gotta be smart about your ammo.
See, I do want to play it. But
That's
again,
fucking.
I just got Persona 5, so I'm booked for. It says like 100 to 200 hours. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, when I'm finished with mine, I'll fucking have to let you borrow it.
All right.
Fucking.
I can probably lend you Detroit Become Human if you want to try that after Until Dawn.
Yeah, that'd probably be good.
It's
Streaming
Nando's
material.
copy, but he has my God of War too. So fuck him, right?
Right? Does he even play video games?
Not well.
I don't even. Right. He's all watching.
I know. He's like, that's one of these. It's like, whatever, man. We played GTA with him. We know what's up.
Have you unlocked the infinite knife yet? No. What are the requirements for that? Because with the pistol, it was pretty easy. All I had to do was play standard, and I just had to beat the game within 3 hours and 30 minutes, which I did like an hour earlier. So 2 hours and 34 minutes, I think, is what it said. You have to go back and watch it. It's on
How
there.
long is it? How long is it if you just play normal? Like, just,
Well, that's what I'm saying. You watch my first 2 episodes, like, you can see, like, I actually got stuck at one point just because I look at the map a lot. Like, the map system's great. It's fucking amazing because it'll turn blue when you found everything in the room.
yeah.
And it'll be red if you haven't.
So that's
you know.
nice because it's.
And if you've seen the item, the item will show up on the fucking map. So I got stuck because there's this fucking valve you gotta find, and I didn't know where it was, and it didn't show up on this red room because I didn't go into a little fucking office space that's in there that it's sitting in, so it didn't show up on the map. So I was like, where the fuck?
What am I supposed to find?
Yeah, and it took me forever. But boy, do I fucking know where that fucking valve is now.
It's I played I told you I played Resident Evil 4 was my big one from those.
Yeah.
And there's this point in the game where I was confused as fuck, and I was looking everywhere, and I think that was the point they had just given me the sniper rifle, and in the distance there's this fucking painting, and I never thought to like look at it to shoot it, and there's this bottle of wine that blends into the fucking painting that you have to shoot. It took me like fucking 2 hours
No
to find it.
shit.
Yeah. That's not even the longest I got stuck in that game. I told you, like, when you fight the fish monster at the end of like the first part of the game, like I kept crashing into obstacles on the boat, and I was like, this boss fight's impossible. I can never outswim swim him long enough to win. And I must have tried like 30 times before I tried to steer the fucking boat, and then I was like, oh wow, this is easy.
Well, it's like my first playthrough of the game, I didn't have any like heal items when I got to like William Birkin. It's
Yeah.
like one of his bigger forms towards the end, and so I'm fighting it like with no health, and like he's just beating the shit out of me, and I don't know how many times I fucking tried it.
Is he? I've read about our Resident Evil 2. One of the enemies, I can't remember who it was, is kind of like the alien from Isolation, where it kind of free roams.
Mr. X.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Like,
Does that make
people-
it better?
yeah, he is like so much scarier. Like when you get to him, like you'll run into him and he chases you, right? And you go anywhere. Like you'll go clear on the other side of the fucking police station. And if you go fast enough, to where you don't hear his footsteps anymore, you're like, oh, I got away. And then after a while, though, you'll be like searching. You're chill, you've relaxed, then you'll hear his footsteps again.
Oh.
Yeah, it is fucking scary.
Does it work the same way with the microphone that you have? Like,
No, because he would have heard me like
Yeah.
a lot of times because I'm fucking screaming.
Well,
and
now
shit.
would
like,
be the-
oh fuck.
now would be the perfect time to play Alien Isolation.
Right.
Mr. X is a knobhead.
He is, but I love him. I love him to death because I don't know, like he was scary in the original, because they had key points where he would break through a wall and stuff
Yeah.
in ways that he would follow you. But it wasn't like in this where he's in the next room. Like I watched a guy who used a free roam camera to where like there's one room in particular where you have to do somewhat of a puzzle, and Mr. X doesn't go in there. And he basically free roamed to where like it's the game's believing that you're in that room, and he watched as Mr. X was outside, and he said usually a game will just render the sound like enemy will despawn or something, you know?
Yeah.
And you're just hearing the sound like that, making you believe that they're around. And he said, no, Mr. X actually wanders around and still goes around looking for you and shit.
Even if he can't find you.
Yeah, like
That's
he'll
cool.
still wander around, and he
Because
he never despawns. He just he's physically always there, and he's looking for you.
it's almost like every game in existence where if you're not looking at something, it kind of
It goes away.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I guess like he'll move, like they'll kind of like teleport him basically, but it just like it's. I guess he's always fucking there. He could be a DC character. I could see that. I guess.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
like a darker,
maybe it'll help DC.
darker apocalypse or something.
Yeah,
Well, that's not DC, is it? That's
Apocalypse is X-Men.
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel.
Shows how much I know.
Well, I heard what is it? Ben Affleck isn't gonna be like Batman anymore already. I was like,
That's
well, that was
fine.
such a brief, forgettable time as Batman, and they're like making a story.
He
of
wasn't really a great one, was he?
It. No, no, guy who
No fucking loss there.
yeah, and the guy who plays Superman isn't great either. But they're making a Witcher TV show, Netflix is, and they cast the guy who plays Superman.
You were telling me that,
oh.
and you said it looked so cheesy.
Yeah, it's like he's clearly wearing a wig. It's like, oh man, this is gonna be terrible. But the point of the main character of The Witcher is he has like no emotion, so it's like good. This guy can't act either. It's a perfect fit.
Right? Yeah. So he doesn't have
Just
to do
act,
anything.
just give him his lines and let him deliver them naturally, and it'll be awkward enough to pass as the main character.
Salad, what is up? Welcome to
Have you
the
guys
stream.
watched the Punisher series? No,
I have not.
And I watched the first episode and I liked it. I just haven't gone back and watched it. It's been like that with a lot of the Marvel TV shows, like Agent of Shield. I think I watched the first couple seasons, and then they started changing the main character's name a bunch from like Daisy to I can't even remember now, like Quake or something. I can't, and I lost interest at that point. And I liked Jessica Jones season 1. I didn't really watch Iron Fist I watched like 3 episodes of Luke Cage. But I like the guy who plays the Punisher from The Walking Dead.
I don't really watch TV anymore or Netflix. I'm all about that YouTube, so.
When he's not on YouTube, he literally just stares at a blank TV in total silence, in the dark.
You said porn wrong.
I was trying to, add some class.
If you want to add class, you just specify.
Are
Watching
you guys
classy
getting
porn.
the Division 2 or Mortal Kombat 11? I'll probably get Mortal Kombat.
I played a lot of Mortal Kombat X, so you can count me in on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
The Division 2?
I played the beta for the Division 1.
I don't know what that is.
It's not installed anymore. That should. It wasn't anymore while the beta was still running.
What kind of game is it?
It was kind of trying to be. It seemed like it was trying to be like Destiny, like with the same kind of.
Okay, so I'm already out.
Yeah, I played a lot of Destiny, the first one, and then I kind of got burnt out on it. It was kind of like the same as Borderlands. Like I played the shit out of Borderlands 1, but when 2 came out,
It was like the idea of Borderlands, but take a bunch of Halo in there, and I don't like Halo, so that's really where it turned me off when it comes to Destiny. At first, I was into it. That was fun with friends.
She says
but
the Division, or
he
the Division 2 is like a survival type game.
but not survival horror.
Yeah,
Arcs really don't.
if it comes out,
survival games are.
if it comes out and everybody's like, this game is amazing, and everybody's
Right.
like playing it, yeah, I'll check
Yeah.
it out. But until then, I'm like,
I'd have to see it.
yeah, watch some gameplay or something.
I feel like I'm really picky about my video games nowadays. I don't think I was like that before.
Even nowadays, it's like you find it, you find one and it's easy to lose interest in a game. Like Red Dead, we both kind of lost interest in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right, yeah. You see, even last night I was bored and I was like, I was thinking, maybe I could get somebody to play Red Dead with me. I could stream that, and I almost popped it in, and I was like, no, it's speedrun on Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, yeah. I straight up the way I ended up playing Persona 5 is I was looking for a game to play, and I have Red Dead 2, and I'm just like, I'd say I'm like 60% of the way through, and I went out and bought a new game that's supposed to be 100 hours.
Right? Yeah.
It's just easy.
It's fun when you play it with people, especially if you play it with Rambo.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
The one time we played together, I couldn't talk. I kind of ruined that experience.
That sucked, dude.
Yeah.
There's a thing called the Dark Zone, and PvP is enabled. What? Oh, and the Division 2. Video games are not as good as it was back then.
I kind of agree with the sentiment. Like, back then, games were released complete, for one. You didn't...
Yeah. Who was I was telling somebody about that. Maybe it was you. We were talking about.
Yeah, I think we've talked about
that
this
long
before.
ago. Yeah, it was like how you don't get a complete game. Like, they give you all this DLC and they make you think it's extra shit.
Well, even now,
you should already have in the
on
fucking
this
game.
like generation of consoles, one thing I hate is getting a game. You get excited. I'm gonna go home and play this. You put it in, and it's like, here's 100 gigabyte install that's gonna take fucking 4 hours.
You know what I hate? I fucking hate, like, here's this fucking badass video game, but if you pay us extra, it'll be a little more fucking cooler because we'll give you a little extra stuff that other people don't get, unless they pay us too.
Yeah, exactly. And
I hate that.
Yeah, that kind of in Red Dead Redemption 2 had that a lot online, where it's like, oh, the microtransactions.
It's like, don't make me pay for being a dedicated fan. You know?
It ruins the online experience for me. Not because it's like I hate playing against players who have better stuff than me. Like, I'm not that great to begin with. I usually lose, so that's not a huge thing. It's just the principle of it, you know.
Yeah. That's because video game marketing is fucking evil these days. I hate it.
When I think of my favorite games, most of them are in like the PS2 era. That's what I had back then.
Single player games are the most trustworthy games to buy, like Red Dead Redemption 2. We don't talk about.
Yeah, like God of War 2. Not God of War 2. The new God of War game. It was really good, and it was because it was a single player game, and it felt really like new, and I'm excited to see another one.
Well, I liked Doom a lot.
Yeah.
I never even played the multiplayer, actually. But I loved fucking... It was such a good campaign, and like, for me, I'm a big fan of the original back in the day, and it was like that. That's kind of how Resident Evil 2 is. You know, it's the same fucking way. It's like the same shit, just revamped in a fucking new console.
Yeah, and it brings back cool. Like the nostalgia, while not having to play through the clunky gameplay.
Nostalgic, very. And I love that. Fucking, you can even in Resident Evil 2 change to the old soundtrack. Like, and everything sounds the same, like the menu stuff. I was doing that last night.
I know you don't like Halo, but they had this edition of, I want to say it was Halo 1, where it was like an anniversary edition, and you would go through and you could hit a button and switch between modern graphics and the old graphics. Yeah, it was cool.
See, Duke Nukem's like that anniversary one I bought.
Yeah.
That I was I started that series a little bit. I'm neglecting it. But you can do that. If you hit down on the D-pad, it'll show you the old 90s graphics. It'll switch to that, and you can go back and forth.
That's a cool feature.
I like that, because I was doing a lot of comparison. I was like, oh, look at this, and like how much they've cleaned up stuff, you know, and you're like, whoa, that's fucking awesome.
To me, that's the way games have improved. The only real way is that the graphics have become amazing. But
yeah, I'm kind of weird where I play old remastered games on my newer consoles a lot. Like when I had a 360, I was playing a lot of like Doom and stuff, you know, and like everybody's like, why aren't you playing Black Ops with us? Like, dude, Wolfenstein 3D.
Well, it's like, what are the big budget games that are coming out this year? Do you have like another Assassin's Creed game?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you have.
They're getting to be like the Call of
Duty.
Well, of course, there's one every year.
And
Doom 2, I think that's... Is there? Fucking... You know, I'd be playing the shit out of that. Which is... If you want to borrow that, you should play that.
No, the Doom.
I want to call it the Facebook.
Um, my daughter has those little plastic.
Oh yeah, make
Like,
sure she watches too. She'll love it.
oh yeah, she could handle it, man.
Yeah.
We're watching Breaking Bad already. I'm like, see, I want you to, you know, be be an entrepreneur is what I'm trying to get across to her. I forgot my original point because I somehow segued from.
I don't know. I think if you ever watch podcasts where people get stoned, that happens a lot.
Yeah, he just.
Like I noticed that with Joey Diaz, he'll be fucking. He'll be on one subject and like they'll ask him something like blah blah blah. They'll ask him a question. He's like, "Well, let me tell you," and he goes off, and then it's like he barely sticks his toe into that one subject they started on, and just sidetracks big time. And all of a sudden he's talking about doing coke in the 80s or something. It's like, what the fuck, man?
We were talking about.
He was talking about what size shoe you wear. Like,
The Last of Us 2.
we were just talking about that too.
Yeah.
Funny we can get back on that, but basically we're both like we both feel we could wait for it.
Yeah.
Like we both want to play it, yeah.
You
But we're gonna wait to play it.
It's like Kingdom Hearts 3 for me. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 came out when I was like junior high, I think. So for me, it has a lot of nostalgia, but I don't care enough right now to drop $60 on it.
Right.
I'm like, I will wait.
Well, nowadays, like with these games that come out with like multiplayer, like online fucking nowadays, and it's like it comes out and it's shit. It's like, wait for it. It could be free in a couple months.
I think
like 76.
Oh yeah,
Isn't it? It's free now, isn't it?
I'm not sure, but even now
I'm pretty sure they went to free
to play it.
So, I mean, I'll play if it's free now. I didn't want to spend money on it back.
What was it like? Sea of Thieves was like a disappointment. I heard when it first came out.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about that.
I think it's kind of ambitious. There's a lot of ambitious games coming out right now, but a lot of them are kind of flawed, and so it's worth waiting instead of like jumping on it right off the bat.
Yeah, I feel like after this last holidays we had, you have to be really careful about your video games now. It's almost like just even if it sounds really fucking good, like a really good idea, just maybe sit it out for a second and watch everybody else the first week and see what happens.
What was the other big one? It was the space one.
See, he's talking about Fallout 76. Oh my god, thank god I didn't purchase that garbage.
Exactly. See, a big one, I'd say the game I bought most recently at full price when it came out, like excited, went out and bought it right then, was Mass Effect Andromeda, because I was a huge fan of the first Mass Effect 3 games, and I would say Mass Effect Andromeda was good, but it wasn't worth going out and paying $60.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like what was wrong with it? It just was lacking content, or
its problem is that it's going to get compared to the first three, and the first three have such a good storyline that you go into Mass Effect Andromeda, and it is what it's trying to sell you. It's a new thing, but its storyline is sometimes not clearly defined. Its side characters are more forgettable. The combat's better. The vehicle use is better, but
it's like these games that have really immersive, huge storylines that are really good because of that have a hard time transitioning into multiplayer. It's like that's why they're good at that, is because they don't know the multiplayer, the things that make multiplayer good. So when they do that, they transition to it, and then it's like really bad, and they're like, everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
Well, you get a lot of games too now that even if they have like a solid single player, they'll like tack on a multiplayer that's like garbage.
Right.
Or you get games that where they should have multiplayer, they focus too heavily on that. And one big example would be the first Star Wars Battlefront, when that came out for PS4.
Right.
Because a lot of us played Battlefront 1 and 2 back in like the PS2
era. So everybody got excited.
Stoked. Yeah. And then it's just online, and most of the playlists sucked, and it was just not that fun.
Yeah. I barely remember it, because I remember we played the fucking beta when it was available for a short time or something. But I never actually bought the game, and I don't remember anybody buying it. And
I bought
before when it came out. Everybody, already everybody I knew already knew it was bad, so I was like, okay, I don't need to do anything about buying that game.
You got the collector's edition. I
He said, "Rest in peace to
yeah.
the people that."
I haven't got a collector's edition game in probably like 10 years.
I used to be where I would buy the, when I was on 360 and I was living on the loser's loop, living off unemployment. Like I would just fucking. That's all I did was just fucking. I played video games. I would drink and fucking smoke, and I would actually buy those pre-order ones that had extra content and stuff,
Yeah,
and,
just because if you have all the time in the world to play a game, why not get the extra stuff?
yeah. And back then they weren't as fucking nuts as they are now. Like,
I think like 100-hour game, realistically for me now, would take me like a year to beat because of the amount I get to play video games. Like I can't. I used to be able to sit there, like before I had a girlfriend, before I had a daughter, and I could play like 10 hours in a row, no problem. Yeah.
You'll get that time back eventually. Like, not as much, but
yeah,
you will get more time eventually. Like in the first like 2 years are fucking intense. It'll slow down about 2 though, getting close to 2.
One of the as far as getting collector editions go, I had a friend in high school, and when Halo 3 came out, he splurged and got like the Spartan helmet collector's edition, and so he gets it and open it, and we all thought we were going to be able to wear the fucking thing.
I think I remember that actually.
I remember everybody being pissed off.
I remember that because I think I have a friend that did the same thing.
It had a rectangle like this big.
Suckers! They got everybody good.
Everybody thought we were gonna. I'm Master Chief. That's a weird Master Chief voice.
Bought the Destiny 1 Legendary Edition because at the time the game was actually good.
I like Destiny 1. Destiny 1 has
not for me.
Interesting to me because originally Peter Dinklage came on.
Dinklage?
Yeah. He's a small person actor from Game of Thrones.
Oh.
He came on and
it was the last name that threw me off. Dinklage.
Yeah. Pretty sure. I might have fucked it up. I don't know. He came on and did the voice of your little like AI fucking robot assistant, and he just was thoroughly not into it. To the point where eventually they got somebody else to come in and re-voice over that character.
No shit.
Post-release, yeah. And I'm like, that's the only time I can think of where that's happened in a video game. And I've played video games with terrible fucking voice acting, you know?
Right, yeah. Watched a video where they were talking about like stuff that slipped by developers and testers and shit, and they did get in a section where they talked about like the voice recordings where they're like, oh, let me try that one more time.
Yeah, from
you get like 2 takes in one line.
It says we have 3 people watching.
Wait, you gotta remember one of them is us.
What? We only count as one person?
Because they're counting the one device. Science, bitch.
Again,
does that thing even open YouTube?
Not really. No. It kind of sends text messages like 80% of the time.
Yeah, I love when you send like it's like multiples, because they always come in like a weird order, and I have to I'm like, okay.
Well,
so it's like a Resident Evil puzzle. I got to solve them.
Now that I know that, I'm gonna break them up even more.
Yeah, and it actually comes in
it's
order.
Gonna be like one word.
It actually puts it in order though, like.
Oh, weird.
Because you're fucking.
Because you're
trying to. Yeah, that'd be weird if you can figure out how to do it.
I have to send it backwards.
Right. Ever hear about the game called Mind Jack?
No. But I assume it's about a guy named Jack.
I don't know. I mind Jack a couple times a day.
I haven't heard of that game.
I haven't either.
trying to think of a game that's upcoming that I'm actually excited for, like a new game where I would go out and buy it.
You know, you want to hear something intense?
Hmm.
Might have to spark up another J for this. This is deep. You know how I am about the Las Vegas shooting, right? You know,
Yeah.
like I wrote a song about it. Like that thing that fucking. There's some weird shit that came up recently about that dude. So supposedly Anonymous fucking hacked him, like the real Anonymous, the actual hackers, not the people that just fucking say, "Oh, I'm a member now," you know.
Yeah.
And I wear a mask, the Guy Fawkes mask.
Guy Fawkes.
Fucking, so they hacked the fucking Las Vegas police station, supposedly, and look at their emails, and they got all these emails from the FBI, and they're talking about the shooting, you know, from back then. And then apparently what happened was Paddock was a undercover FBI agent selling firearms to fucking Saudis and fucking ISIS members and shit, is what they say, you know, because you know Mandalay Bay was owned by who's the fucking some I can't remember, some Saudi prince or something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Weird shit is used to own it, but yeah, and apparently they found out
and sent somebody to.
and well they figured, you know, like well, they found out, so their goal was like, we're gonna go in there and kill him. So we're gonna kill him. We're not gonna be able to get all those fucking guns out of there. And then they're like, let's just, you know.
Like stage something
Yeah.
and then make it look like it was him. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was in there with a bunch of guns.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Isn't that fucking weird?
There's been like a lot of weird discrepancies.
Like, I don't know, like, and that was the more recent one. That was like the video I watched. It said it was just a month ago or some shit. But yeah, it tripped me out. I was like, what the fuck? But they said, you know, there was 2 snipers that were sent up there, and like that. There was, you know, like they say there was 2 shooters, so
Yeah. So
the 2 guys that killed him. This is one of the lines: the bigger they are, the harder they come. Wait, what?
yeah, right.
Oh, it's one of the worst. I should have read a lot more.
Yeah.
Worst games created. The AI would get stuck on walls. Sound audio would bug out. The lines are stupid too. Okay, and that was one of the lines. The bigger they are, the harder they come.
Buggy games kind of suck. Well, yeah, they really suck. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I played that when it first came out, and it was super buggy. Like, it would just drop me out of character, or it would just fucking crash the entire game. And you couldn't fucking save in that game unless you would brew a special potion or go rest in your own bed. So
I hate
if
when
you
games
fucking
make
lost
saving
the game,
complicated.
sometimes it was like it set you back like 4 hours if you were out doing some shit. No, that their intent with it, with Kingdom Come Deliverance, was to be super realistic, and so making saving impossible was super realistic, I guess. They're like, you can't save in life. Mind Jack, though. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
Maybe
look
I've
that up.
read about it or something. I don't know. There's a certain charm to like games and movies once they get to the point where they're so bad they're good.
That's kind of how, like, you know, like Hexen and shit was for me, because it's kind of like, you know, most people play it and be like, this is a bad video game, but to me, like, I love it. That's my style.
Well, it's like
It's so weird.
when I've gone back and played Final Fantasy X. It was a huge game I played when I was a teenager. It was one of my favorites, you know. Now I've gone back and played it, and I'm like, this is the cheesiest fucking thing, but because of nostalgia, I'm like, I still love it, but I don't want to play it in front of people and be like, no, this was a huge part of my life. Because they're gonna bash on it like immediately. Again, it's because it's got like very Japanese trends.
I used to play the shit out of Beautiful Katamari.
Spyro the Dragon. That was Spyro was like the first game I played on PlayStation. I loved it.
I never played Spyro. They had like a bunch of them, didn't they?
Yeah. I want to say I think it was probably Spyro. Just the dragon. I want to say Year of the Dragon or something, but I'm not sure. But I remember the little guy who would steal the fucking egg, and you'd have to chase him, and he was like just a little bit faster than Spyro. So you could chase him for fucking ever. And you'd have to eventually like ram him in the ass to make him like drop the egg so that you could fucking get that. That's what I remember about Spyro.
Hell yeah.
Crash Bandicoot.
Did you ever play Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah.
I love that fucking game. I played it like fucking crazy. Crash I never played.
I played some Crash Bandicoot.
I played the demo.
I probably
the demo
played
disc that came with the PlayStation.
That had the Crash on it.
Yeah.
I probably played more Crash Racing than I actually played.
I forgot he had a racing game too.
Yeah, I played. I really liked Jak and Daxter, Jak 2, Jak 3. I didn't really play the Daxter spin-off on fucking PSP because I didn't have a PSP.
My ex played a lot of that game. I didn't play any of it.
It was like GTA for people who weren't allowed to get M-rated games once it hit Jak 2. The difference between Jak 1 and Jak 2 is like fucking crazy, just from a...
Oh no, I'm thinking Ratchet and Clank.
That's
what I was thinking.
I think
what
the
she used to
furthest I've ever played into a Ratchet and Clank game was when one of my friends I lived with at the time got a 3D television, and it was on, I want to say PS3. They had a 3D version of Ratchet and Clank that you could play co-op with a friend, and that was trippy to do and smoke. But after that, I didn't really play any more Ratchet and Clank.
Didn't they have a title that was banned in the UK? It was changed over there.
I played Crash Bandicoot Tag Team Racing. Shit was intense. Yeah, I'd play against my sister and my stepbrother.
Do you remember Diddy Kong Racing?
Hey, look, they said exactly what I said. Jak 2 to me was like a GTA if you couldn't get GTA.
That's funny.
That's exactly it. I agree.
Like Diet GTA.
Yeah. And no, it was a weird shift. Did you ever play Jak and Daxter, like the Precursor Legacy? It's like this wholesome, super family-friendly game. And then Jak 2 comes out, and it immediately starts by Jak getting captured and tortured for a couple of years. And the whole first game, he had never talked. And then he comes out of it with dark fucking powers because he's been tortured, and he's all pissed off and talking now. And it's like open world kind of GTA for teenagers. And you're like shooting people and shit. And the first game didn't have guns or anything. Yeah, it was like this huge. In a way,
did they get like a new team of developers or anything? Or
no, it was Naughty Dog. I don't know if they got a new team of developers. Honestly, I don't know why I said no so aggressively. Like I knew what I was talking about.
No, fuck you.
You're fucking.
Shut up, Germ.
You're fucking wrong.
Fucking idiot. Fuck.
Jak 2 to me. Oh yeah, I already read that one.
I really wish the comments would have worked like it did the first time.
Right?
It's getting
it's
so
a trade-off,
annoying.
People. You can either have us actually see what it's saying or hear us.
It's fucking ridiculous. They need to fix that shit. You know how many times that's fucking happened?
With your comments?
Where comments have stopped working.
Yeah, I've seen it on some of your Until Dawn videos.
No, I mean like years ago this shit's happened. Like I remember it happened a couple times back when I first started streaming back in 2014. I think it was 2014. Yeah. Because 2013 is when the PS4 came out, right? Like that November. And then it took months before I could track down a camera.
And then you started streaming.
And yeah, and it was like 2014 I started.
Do you remember what was it?
On Ustream.
On the 360, the Kinect. That shit was kind of creepy how it would like kind of turn to like look at you and shit.
You see the video where supposedly it's tracking a ghost? Because you know it tracks your body. I ashed in my fucking crotch. But fucking yeah, somebody picks up like a ghost
And it's like following the
Like,
ghost.
yeah, like like the ghost is sitting on the couch, I think, or some shit. But yeah, it's pretty fucking creepy.
There was nothing useful to be done with the Kinect except for now maybe possibly seeing ghosts. Microsoft released a potential ghost detector, and that's all it fucking was. Because it was.
I think it's weird that the Snapchat logo is a ghost.
I think it's weird that Starbucks logo is a siren.
Yeah, you know, I never really thought about that.
It's like it leads you to your death. That's what a siren is in fucking mythology.
And we're just eating that shit up.
Yeah. It's where they put all the chemicals in.
Uh,
And then make you pay like $6 for it.
who was it that was talking? I was watching something. Somebody was talking about reading a Reddit forum with baristas at fucking Starbucks, and their biggest complaint was like people not saying their drink size.
I feel like they made it as complicated as possible to know what size you're
That's
fucking
exactly
ordering.
what dude said.
Yeah. Like, why can't it just
Exactly.
be small, medium, large like the rest of the fucking world? They're like, no, it's. I only know Venti, so I don't know what size I'm getting.
Venti, yeah.
But that's what size I get every time.
I can't remember what they are. But that's the one I always get too. That's about my size that I need.
And then they give them all like weird, fucking stupid names. And I don't go there enough to properly learn them. I go there like
Sometimes I won't order a fucking coffee because of its name. Like literally, that's happened.
yeah, and it's like it looks good. You're like, oh, caramel. What is the word after that?
Dude, Peels last night hops on my stream. You know, and she's like, I'm laying in bed wearing a placenta face mask.
Is that like real?
Yeah, she sent me a picture of like the fucking.
Where'd they get the
product.
placenta?
I don't know, man. I didn't ask questions. I was just like,
That's my first question.
I was like, how's that going?
She's like,
She was like, yeah, seriously though, what the fuck's on my face?
placenta.
Right? That's what I said.
She's like reading it wrong. It's like some other word.
Oh yeah, grande. Grande is one. Yeah, venti. What's another one though?
What would small be?
Like
Pequeña.
grande. That's all I know. Fuck coffee.
I think I have to wrap up.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap this show up. It's been a good hour and a half.
Oh shit.
We had
Yeah.
a couple. Yeah, like that. It keeps track. Stuff.
Would have been like 2 hours, but we had some.
Yeah, we had some issues, so would have been longer. But hopefully, we're gonna try to do this every Saturday. Try.
Or bi-weekly Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. For now, until my daughter gets a bit bigger.
Yeah, it'll. Watch out for these. I'll try to warn you guys ahead of time.
Anyway, thanks for
All right,
watching.
peace. Smash that like, subscribe if you're not already. Comment and blah blah blah.